Stay tuned now for Spotlight Indianapolis with your host, Lisa Howe.
Good morning and welcome to Spotlight Indianapolis. Our weekly program focuses on people and organizations that are creating positive impact every day, including events and current issues that influence our city. Good morning, my name is Lisa Howe, and if you are a regular listener of Spotlight Indianapolis, you'll remember that in December of last year, we aired a program about integrating Women Leaders, Inc. We found out about the way IWL empowers, supports, and connects its members to achieve in the marketplace. Now, on August 27th of this year, the 5th annual IWL Women's Leadership Conference will take place here in Indianapolis. This year's theme, Brand You, Passion, Purpose, and the Will to Lead. To discuss this exciting conference and to let you know how you can also register to take part in this special event, I'm pleased to welcome back to our studios the founder and president of Integrating Women Leaders, Inc., Jennifer Browning Holmes. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Lisa.
I'm glad you could join us today, and I know you're prepping for a big conference. Thanks for carving us into your schedule.
Thank you.
It was great getting to know you last year. I'm confident our listeners will enjoy finding out more about the 2014 Brand You Conference in August. But we are also honored to welcome the official MC of the August 27th conference, Miss Melissa Proffitt Reese. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Now, I understand you are a partner of Ice Miller Law Firm and that you and your firm have been premier sponsors since 2012?
That's correct.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us today. And completing our panel of strong women leaders joining us in our discussion today, we welcome Shelly Aristizabal. Good morning, Shelly.
Good morning, Lisa. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for pronouncing your name prior to the show so that I could not mess up Aristizabal. But everybody remember this. Now,
beautiful.
If you don't recognize Shelly's name, she is the president of Business Women Connect and the author of the book, This Is Your Year to Design and Begin to Live the Life of Your Dreams. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Thank
This
you.
is going to be a good show. Jennifer, to launch the discussion, would you give us some history on Integrating Women Leaders, Inc.? How did it all start?
So in 2010, I founded the organization on the passion about developing women leaders to focus on the women in our own state of Indiana and help women connect with other women, support their growth and development. So it's been a really exciting time in our last 5 years. It's grown immensely.
Very good. Are you from Indianapolis originally?
I am. I grew up here and came back in 2004 through a relocation for a corporate executive position with Guidant.
Okay. And Melissa, are you from Indianapolis?
Yes, I am. Been here all my life.
All your life. Shelly?
I grew up in Greenfield, Indiana.
All right.
Yeah.
So Indianapolis represented proudly today. Great. Now, what will IWL continue to offer women throughout the year? What can we expect from IWL?
We've developed a partnership with Butler through the Corporate Executive Ed program, developing programs through a leadership series. We've partnered with Shelly to do some development for the women that will be at the conference and connect them throughout the year. And we've looked out into our community to find other strategic partners that will be able to offer additional leadership development for whatever the women are looking for.
And 5 years ago, did you have any idea it would grow to this level?
No, I had no idea. It's very exciting.
That's nice. Now, I understand every year your organization gives a special charity. Would you elaborate?
So our give is called the Charity Spotlight Award recipient, and we choose a non-for-profit organization that focuses on women and children. And this year, I'm really excited to announce that the Women's Fund of Central Indiana was chosen by our board. I think Melissa is actually on the board, and
nice.
They're a really important organization. They fund a lot of special non-for-profits like Dress for Success, for example. So
great organization. They've been on the show before, too.
Yeah, and they just launched a new initiative called Next, and so we're going to really help support that initiative in any way that we can. So the money that we raise during the conference that day will go towards the Women's Fund.
All right. And to get the word out, we found out last year that Maggie Anderson, your Director of Marketing,
Yes.
Public Relations, handles your communications for IWL, and it's obviously working because I know you're expecting a big conference this year.
We're going to sell out at 550. We've already have 200 seats sold, and registration, early bird starts, it's open right now, actually, and so we're expecting a really large crowd.
Outstanding. Now, if you've just tuned in, you're listening to Spotlight Indianapolis. We're meeting with Jennifer Browning Holmes, the founder and president of Integrating Women Leaders, Inc., Shelly Aristizabal, president of Business Women Connect. Now, don't laugh, Shelly. I think I got it almost. And one of the premier sponsors, Melissa Proffitt Reese, partner with Ice Miller Law Firm. I'm actually surprised I just almost stuttered on Proffitt. Good grief, that wasn't easy. Melissa Proffitt Reese. Melissa, a couple of questions for you. Women's Leadership Conference is still relatively new, but this is your 5th annual meeting, and your theme is Brand You, Passion, Purpose, and the Will to Lead. I like the statement. Your brand is defined by how others perceive your values, beliefs, and abilities. How well do your daily actions reflect the person of who you want to be?
Well, I think that when you talk even to your children, they're defined by the people they surround themselves by their friends, and how they behave. And so I think it's very important to reflect upon yourself on a daily basis, to think about how you're conducting yourself, how you're exhibiting your beliefs, and that you realize that actions speak louder than words, and people really look at how you represent yourself by your daily conduct as much or more than by what you say.
Excellent. So the call to action basically stating you are how you act.
You are exactly how you act.
Very
yes.
nice. And you're the MC for this year.
Yes, it should be fun.
Now, within the conference descriptor, it notes if you don't manage your brand, someone else will. Will you explain a little bit more about Brand You?
Sure. Well, I think that's very self-evident, whether it's your competitors or whether it's other individuals. If you don't take control of yourself and your own image, then others will define you for themselves and for others. And so it's very important to be aware that you manage and control your own life and how others perceive you, and don't let others define you.
What are some of the things that create that brand?
Oh, I think it's many different things. It's your own personality. It's what you value, how you spend your time, and equally important, it's how others see you and perceive you. And so some of that you can manage very much on your own, and other things like how others perceive you are a little less directly managed by you. But you need to be conscious and aware of it, and really have a high EQ about yourself, and whether or not you're portraying exactly who you want to be to others.
EQ. Would you explain that?
Oh, emotional equivalent.
Emotional intelligence.
As
Ooh, I like
opposed
that.
to intellectual intelligence. So you're aware on an emotional, personal level how others are perceiving you, and you're very sensitive to what other people's thoughts and ideas are, as opposed to intellectual intelligence.
That makes sense, because if you're not connecting emotionally, then it's not really a true brand. It's not really who you are.
Exactly.
And it'll come through. People can't hide who they really are. Mm-hmm. Good for you. Now, tell us about a day in the conference. Jennifer, maybe you can take this one. What are the workshops you're offering?
So we have tracks this year for the very first time, which we're really excited about, working with corporate executive education with Roche and some other of our program sponsors. We are focused on individual contributors, managers, directors, the VP and senior vice president up, and then there's a skill building track so that anyone, no matter where they are in their career, they have a track that they would be excited about going through, getting relevant content, and then really being able to take that back in the workplace the next day.
Okay, good. And so it's Unleash Your Voice. Are these some of the workshops?
So yeah, we have Unleash Your Voice, Reach Your Full Potential. Shelly's doing one on Design and Live Your Purposeful Dream, which Maggie and I and several of our team members have been going through her 9-week program, which has been amazing. Leader as Coach, Strategic Thinking, which I think is going to be a really good one, and Roche is going to be delivering that one. Build an Executive Presence, learn to negotiate. We have a speaker that is doing a ton of negotiation for major corporations. So we've got content that is being delivered that we've captured over the past 4 years through our research.
Excellent. Now, what is the primary demographic of the attendees? Is it for all ages?
It is for all ages, but I would say mostly in the 20s we had 20s to 60 last year. It's open to any individual, really.
And are they coming in from all over the country?
They are, actually. We're getting a national presence, and we've had people like Shelly fly in from Florida last year. We had New York, California, Chicago. So, yeah, we're getting much more of a national presence.
This is the 5th year, so you have some experience behind you. How do you research the topics for the conference?
That's a great question. We collect the data from the folks that attend. We do a lot on white papers. We research what Catalyst and McKinsey are publishing. We do a lot to talk about, networking outside the state of Indiana to see what others are offering in terms of development and finding out from what our research is telling us if that topic is relevant enough that would make an impact on the folks that come to our conference.
And if we have a listener right now that's already engaged, and I'm sure we do, what website should they go to find out more about IWL?
Integrating Women, WOMAN, leaders.com.
And why is it just, I know we had the show last year, but would you explain Integrating Woman Leaders, Inc.? Why woman?
One woman at a time, that we're focused on the individual.
I think that's a perfect way to do it. Excellent. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Spotlight Indianapolis. We're meeting with representatives of Integrating Women Leaders, Inc., and we're discussing the August 27th, 2014 Women's Leadership Conference that will take place here in Indianapolis. Now, Jennifer, where is the conference held?
It's at the Marriott East this year. We're really excited about it. They went through a $30 million renovation for the Super Bowl, so it's absolutely perfect venue for us to continue to grow over the next several years. So we are excited about it.
Okay, well, great. Now, we have another guest who hasn't spoken yet, Shelly. Thank you for joining us today. And I understand you are facilitating a breakout session in the conference titled Design and Live Your Purposeful Dream. Is this based upon your book?
It is, yes. My book is called This Is Your Year to Design and Live the Life of Your Dreams.
I like the play on the words with purposeful and dream. To live with purpose communicates reasonable expectations for reaching an achievable goal. But the word dream communicates hope or ambition, kind of a castle in the sky. Was this deliberate? Are you pushing the readers to reach higher?
Absolutely. I mean, I really believe that we're all designed for something very specific. We're here, and that's your dreams and your passions and your strengths. And if you can do that self-discovery and find out what's truly important to you, what is your passion, and then purposefully design that by setting goals and attending conferences and do the personal development and really do that discovery to know, what am I good at? What's my contribution? What impact can I make on my company, on my family, on the community, and really make a difference in the world? And I believe you can do that every single day. You can make an impact and become significant. And that's really what my purpose, my goal, my purpose is about empowering and encouraging women to do exactly that. We all have a different definition of success, but we can also be significant in our workplace and the environment. And that's what I love about this conference. I mean, the people that Jennifer have brought together, the speakers that she brings in, and she frequently speaks about this golden thread, and that's powerful. And when you bring women together, that thread sparkles. I mean, it shines. And she tells stories about the impact that the speakers alone have made together. But I want to encourage the women to come that are looking, to take their profession, their career into their own hands and decide that today, I'm going to get some new tools. I'm going to come to this conference and I'm going to be built up. I'm going to add some tools to my toolkit that I can go out there and impact other people around you. So, and that's really what, living your dream is your passion. And then make that decision to create a purpose with it.
I love it. I love what Integrating Women Leaders, Inc. represents. I love your workshop. I think it's interesting that women a lot of times, and not to say that it doesn't also happen with men, but sometimes you have a dream, you go through college, you know what you want to do, things happen, you fall in love, maybe the plan changes overall, and you come away from your dream and you start looking at those reasonable or being conservative or what's a reasonable expectation. You don't, maybe you're deciding for a group of people now and not just yourself, and what you're communicating is it's okay to continue to have your passion for your dream. And I like the way it's purposefully designed, that plan. And so that's what your workshop during the conference is going to help women do.
Absolutely. It is. It's about, reality always shows up. Reality is going to show up anyway. But if you can still have that passion in the dream, I think the two words are interchangeable, is you can live your passion and you might have to make some adjustments to it. And that's what we do every single day when you do have babies. You can still live that passion out. And it's really more about making an impact on other people. Because if you are truly living the life that you were designed to live and living your passion, you're bumping into people all the time and inspire them to possibly say, wow, I want what she has. What is that? What's that little sparkle that she has about her? And that's what you're going to get at this conference from the stage, the people that she strategically brought together, and also from the other attendees. You're going to make incredible connections that day and create these long-term friendships and alliances and strategic partnerships. And it really is powerful. And that's what events like this are really, truly all about, is the connections that you make.
And I think Melissa could actually add some great commentary around that. It's about the magic in the room. And I think when you were involved a couple of years ago, when we heard Ann Ryder talk about that golden thread, and how women just didn't understand, how did you choose me? Why am I on this panel, right? Maybe you could talk a little bit about how that all kind of comes together magically, and then how you watched it evolve even when you were facilitating.
I mean, the wonderful thing about this conference is all different kinds of women attend, from large companies, from small companies, small business owners, individuals that are leaders of large corporations. And so there is this learning, teaching, mentoring, and educating that goes up and down and all the way across. So those women that are very, very experienced and are at sort of the senior part of their career are learning from those who are just starting their career what the new issues are, what the new challenges are, and how they need to maybe deal with that new workforce, whether it's a young or not young workforce. And then you've got the individuals that are just starting off on their careers, trying to figure out who they want to be and how they want to be themselves and achieve their goals, but looking at successful individuals and how they got there, and then figuring out their own toolbox. How does that all fit together for me with my personality? What do I see in these different people that inspire me and allow me to figure out my own self uniquely, but I can still learn from them? And so it's just this very complex dynamic that goes on all day long of people really sharing themselves and really getting to know each other. And it's very, very personal as well. It's not scripted. It's not documented. It's not formal. It is really genuine.
Goes wherever the discussion needs to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you were facilitating a panel, we had questions that we wanted to get asked, but then the conversation just started, and then she just facilitates this discussion that becomes so relevant that when you open up questions on the floor, it gets to be very emotional. It gets to be very interactive, where you've got senior leaders on stage answering questions in the audience because people really want to know more. And it's just fascinating.
Golden thread. And I like the way, Shelly, you said it sparkles when it's working together. So your role as the MC is to introduce these different leaders as they come up and actually start the golden thread throughout the whole conference. You'll
exactly.
Be keeping
I mean,
that going.
It's the formal job of introducing the leaders. But I think most importantly, I think the feel that we want to create is, first of all, we really want it to be fun and enjoyable and comfortable. Want it to be very, very personal, where individuals really can relate on a personal level with regard to themselves. We want it to be very energetic and very fresh. And once again, we're going to go down paths that we didn't even plan in terms of answers and responses. And one thing that I've just seen too is the honesty that is displayed by the different leaders. They're so willing to share of themselves and their experiences and what they learned and what they did wrong. And once again, we all learn from our mistakes. We tend to learn more from our mistakes than when we do things correctly. But at the same time, they're very willing to share their experiences, and you realize they're human beings and they lacked confidence at different times and they failed at different times, and that's okay. And that it's just a real confidence builder. We've got an amazing lineup with Gloria Felt and Karen and Jennifer and others from very important companies that have a lot to share. And it's a very dynamic. Jennifer's done a great job of putting together the panel because they're all very different and very unique and bring different things to the table.
Well, they don't. A participant doesn't have to come and find one mentor. They're going to find pieces of all of you. Just talking to the three of you, I can see pieces of each of you that would inspire a young woman starting out, and those questions they ask. I think I shared this with Jennifer when we were speaking before the show. I recently spoke with an IUPUI graduate who wants to start her own company. She's working through that awkward stage of you can't launch a business without backers, you can't get backers. If you don't have experience, you can't get experience if you haven't paid your dues, and it's a cycle. And it can be very defeating to a recent graduate. Coming to this conference would just inspire them.
Well, and it'd be a great one for her to come to, because Elaine Beadle, who owns the Beadle and Associates, talks about that experience that she had starting her organization 25 years ago.
Absolutely.
And that one panel, that workshop that they're going to host, is all about women finance, supporting women that want to start their own businesses, the women that responsibility for your finance, how you're going to take care of your family down the road. Women make 80% of the financial decisions. So that panel's made up of, Tracy Dolan, who was at Exact Target CFO, to Elaine Beadle, to these women that have had that experience that could coach her, be a resource to her, help her network to get that resource. So it's a great networking opportunity to find those connections to help her be successful with that.
I think one thing we've seen with women, they tend not to be risk takers. I mean, that's generally a characteristic that women lack. And so Elaine Beadle, who's a good personal friend, she said the scariest thing she ever did was hire that first employee, because she knew that money was going toward them, for them, and she was financially responsible for them. Not the scare. Now she's got, I think, something like 20 people in her organization. That's not scary anymore. It was that first hire. So I think it really encourages women to take risks and be comfortable with it.
So women in our society tend to favor the be realistic instead of live the dream that Shelly was talking about.
Well, Ann Mertlow, one of our keynote speakers, made a profound impact on me personally when she said, you won't grow unless you get outside your comfort zone. And unless you take risk, you'll not grow. And I have never forgotten, and we talked about this yesterday, as a matter of fact, IWL would not have gotten started if I hadn't taken the risk in 2010, leaving a corporate job and saying, I've got to do something different in my life, and this is what I'm passionate about. Otherwise, I'd be doing the same old thing I was doing before. So it's really important for women to, like Melissa said, take a risk, have enough faith in yourself that you can go do it and just follow your dreams and your passion.
Absolutely. The power and the impact that women who attend and participate in this conference has to be significant. You're making a difference.
We hope so.
If you have just tuned in, you're listening to Spotlight Indianapolis. We're meeting with representatives of Integrating Woman Leaders, Inc. We're discussing the August 27th, 2014 Women's Leadership Conference that will take place here in Indianapolis. Jennifer, we've talked a lot about from 30,000 feet about what people will pull from the conference. For our listeners, can you tell us about a day, how the day is functioned, how they register, some of the mechanics of it?
So registration is open now. They go to IWLbrandyou.com and go to the registration page. We have early registration till June 1. Tickets are $265, where they're normally $299. If you get a group of friends, 10 of you to come and buy a table, then you can pay for $250, and the table itself is $2,500, which we encourage, individuals, they want to get a group to come together. That'd be fun. The day starts out with Melissa opening up and welcoming everybody and setting the tone about what Brand New and the theme really stands for. And then the first keynote speaker is an outstanding woman from Roche, who has an amazing story, and she will really resonate with the folks in that room about what she did with her career, how she took some time out. We've got Karen Howe, who will be our keynote at lunch, and in between we'll do breakout sessions, and we'll do 3 rotations, which is the first time we've ever done that. The feedback last year was we want more. So there'll be 3 1-hour breakout sessions in those tracks, like I mentioned. And then the end of the day, we're so excited to have Gloria Felt. For those of you that don't know who she is, she started the foundation Take the Lead. She's out of Arizona State University. She just did a huge event where they went global, and she had some significant speakers for that event. So we're really excited about it. She's have been a CEO for 40 years, so she's going to bring a lot of relevance at the end of the day, and we really wanted to have a powerful ending to the day. So, and Melissa will then just keep the day going. At lunch, we'll also honor the Charity Spotlight recipient, and then we'll do a fundraise through the day for that organization.
Very good. Who are some of your sponsors?
We have Ice Miller, Eli Lilly, Butler University. Those are our premier sponsors. Roche and Merrill Lynch are our program sponsors. Arlent Communication is a premier sponsor, platinum sponsor. WellPoint, Finish Line, Inside Indiana with Gary Dick, Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever. True U, which is a new division of Defender Direct. Bose McKinney and Evans Zimmer. And we've just got tons. WIBC, Amos, which we're really excited about. And we've got a surprise for our attendees from what WIBC is going to offer at lunch. That'll be really fun, but it's a surprise.
Very, very nice. Well, you have to come to the conference to find out. Yep. And again, the website that they can find out more.
IWLbrandnew.com. Or you can get on integratingwomenleaders.com. Either way, it'll take you to the conference page.
Okay, good. And before we close the show, because we're getting close to the end of the show, I want to make sure we touch back on you, Shelly. You are the president of Business Women Connect. How did you launch that, and what's that about?
It is actually an organization that was based out of Indianapolis. It was founded 12 years ago to provide resources, education, and connections for women in business, which are maybe geared more towards entrepreneurial women. And I took it on, and I want to expand it. We've now expanded down to Florida, where I live in Naples, Florida, part of the year. And, I just really want to have the same thing as Jennifer. We want to provide what women need. And women seem to do business a little bit differently. We love the connection. It is about the connection and providing these face-to-face type of environments where you get around a table with other women. And so I'm excited about that because it is powerful for me to surround myself with those type of women.
She just joined our organization as our director of partnerships. So she's going to be working with us to help us grow our organization and connect us with the right partners to continue the development for women.
And I was going to ask about that. With your director of partnerships, why are your partners important to the passion that's going to drive IWL?
It's all about the partnerships. You cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. It's impossible.
There's strength in admitting that.
Absolutely. And it is. And it took me a long time to admit that. And I just found that the minute you decide to partner, what do they say, that if you got in a room with 5 people, where do you think there's more brain power? There's more brain power when you have a room right now rather than my own brain. And I think that's kind of the strategy behind it. And we all have our strengths and weaknesses. So if you can strategically partner with someone that possibly could fill in the gaps of where your weaknesses are, then that's powerful. Like partnering with Butler University with the leadership program that Jennifer has developed is amazing, to be able to now offer these women an opportunity to get involved with something Butler created and Integrating Women Leaders created, just to expand their horizons. And then they can individualize their growth. Their personal growth, their professional growth. You can work for a company, and if your company doesn't offer a leadership as coach program, we do, and that's very exciting.
I like it that you're reaching out to these the sponsors you've listed. It's not just your company. You noted more entrepreneurial type women leaders, but there are women within large corporations that can jump in. Get involved with your organization as well.
hosted a breakout session last year that was really well attended, very highly regarded. So our sponsors also have a lot to say in the content that gets delivered. They have our board members. We have an incredible board of 22, and they're made up of a lot of our corporate sponsors and women that have the same vision that we do. And they're very active. They're very engaged in everything that we do. They're out there in the community talking about us, and so we've been really lucky to surround ourselves with great people.
Oh, definitely you do. I hate it, but we're at the end of our program. It goes so fast, especially when I'm speaking with engaging women like you. So thank you for being here today. I want to make sure before we close this show, once again, Jennifer, tell us where the conference is, how to find out more.
Okay, IWLbrandnew.com. August 27th, all day, starting at 8 at the Marriott East in Indianapolis. And registration is now open for early bird, and we're excited.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. We have reached the end of the program. I encourage our listeners to find out more about Integrating Women Leaders, Inc. and the 2014 Women's Leadership Conference. Brand you. Remember, a strong personal brand will command greater opportunities and uncover the legacy you have always wanted for yourself. I want to thank all of you for joining me this morning. I also want to thank our in-studio producer, Don Hauser, our executive producers, Matt Hiblin and Glee Rennick May, for making this program possible. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies, good luck with this conference. It's going to be amazing. I really hope our listeners come to this and register soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Spotlight today. Go out and make it a great day.